Coach, we can assume that there are no changes to your roster?
No changes from the practice or from the last game, yeah, and certainly not from the last game. Yeah, we got Conan playing. Andy's not here. Method's not playing. Bobby's not playing. So McCormick is in. Lazaro's taking Bobby Ryan's spot. And Clayson will be matched, at least at the beginning, with Eric, but with different options after that to adapt to the opponent.
What do you like about Max McCormick?
Oh, he's just a relentless, hard-working guy. That's first on puck and finishes checks and brings enthusiasm and drive to our team.
Does a guy like that, no offense is expected? It's sort of the...
You always want guys to score a goal or contribute, but I think, when you have him on the fourth line with Neil, obviously, I'm a big identity guy. You need some sort of an identity, whether you're a line and you're a pair, you're a team. And when you got Neil there and McCormick, that fourth line has to be a hard-driving, physical line that gives us momentum.
Do you see a place for fighting at all, or do you think of the fights actually do anything for the bench, do anything for momentum, do anything?
Well, like I said, I'm getting older now, so I guess I'm the old generation now. I'm starting to be in it anyways. I've seen it all over the years, and you get games where there's a fight and totally changes the emotional tone of your group, absolutely. There's times where it's not time and you lose the positive that you get on your bench because things are going well your way, and all of a sudden that fight hurts where you were on your focus. So there's different moments, and I just feel that over the years, obviously, there's less and less. The rules are not permitted anymore, and there's a lot of talks about banishing the fight. So, I think obviously where hockey's going is less and less. I won't be the one deciding it, so definitely I won't be. I don't think my opinion really matters, but I've lived more and less over the years. It was the same in junior. I've lived the first years where we have six fights a game, and then my last years there was none. It was just different. It's just different. I think when the opponent's geared up for that, and it turns out to be a very physical and emotional game, you might be lacking something. When it's the opposite, then you want to be smart and not get into it either. So it really depends.
But would hockey be that much different in the NHL, in a league where there were 50 benches? Would you miss something?
Well, I was in Switzerland, so I've lived it. There was no fighting there. So just the only thing is, whether it's fights or not, the one thing is it's an intimidation game. It's a physical game, so whether it's rugby, hockey, or football, there's intimidation in those types of sports, and the physicality is part of it. And so, of course, when you're emotional and you get guys that have so much adrenaline and testosterone, it's not necessarily something that you plan. It just happens. It just happens. So even if we say that there won't be any more, there still will be.
He Alfred, who's out there this morning, is he out there to help with skill development? Do you help welcome that sort of thing?
He's more than welcome. He's here. He's been here. Lots of talk with him in the background. I know he's been around the players too, and yeah, he's involved everywhere. I think right now for him is that he's feeling it out also. What he likes to do, where he feels he's needed. I'd love to have him around, that's for sure. We had really good talks. So he still knows some of the players there. He's known the organization. He's been here for so long that for me it's a real great resource to tap into for sure. So the more he's around, the better for me.
How can he help the coaching staff?
Oh, you first of all, the background of being here, how it's been here and what he's seen. He's very smart. Besides the fact that he was a great hockey player, if you get to talk to him about hockey or anything, he's right on about things. So you can bounce back ideas. When you're coaching, you've been a player a long time ago. So sometimes there's a distance between how the players feel and how the coaches feel. And when you're able to bridge that gap between the two, it always gives you a major plus. And I think that's where he's got a lot of value. But also, he was a star too. So when you deal with stars, you get information from stars. They think differently. There's a reason why they're stars. There's a reason why they are who they are, and it's important that you get their side of things. And that's always been my approach with every player, but with stars, you need to be able to get their side of things because it is different. And that's where I think he's been terrific.
What do you want to see from your team tonight?
A better first period. That's, to me, last game we were dominant in the second, dominant in the third period. But we dug ourselves much the hole was too big, like in the first period. We started great in the first 3-4 shifts, and then we took penalties that stick penalties. They're lazy penalties for me, and we can get rid of that. We didn't play well in the penalty kill. They surprised us because Eichel hadn't played. So he kind of surprised us with what they were doing with him in the lineup. So we didn't do a good job there. Usually our penalty kill's outstanding, and it wasn't that day, and it kind of deflated us, and we didn't react well after those 2 goals. And that's what I didn't like. If they got those 2 goals, all right, but they shouldn't have never got that third one. And they got that third one because we just got deflated, and I didn't like that. So that first period I didn't like. The rest of the game, like I said, we were dominant. We look at the video, we just totally deserved the rest of the game, but it was too big of a hole to get out of.
You mentioned you might move your deep pairings around a little bit tonight. Through 20-plus games, what would your assessment be of Phaneuf and CC as a pairing?
Well, it's like the other players. For me, there's segments. If you look at 20 games, it's not fair because during the 20 games, there was the beginning, the middle, and where we are right now. We wanted Dion to play with CC because he's a young defenseman that we definitely want to groom, and he's got the potential to be a great defenseman. And so you need somebody with leadership with him, and that's what we did. And that really helped C's to grow. And then, then the second part is you adapt to where their strengths are together as a pair. Who would they play against what type of offense? Do they play against the tougher players? Do they play against the faster players? Because they're a mix of 2 different types of players. But what was important is Dion's leadership in that pair, and that's what we were really happy about. And you saw CC's game really grow. And now he's become one of those rushing horses, I call him. Like he's outstanding at taking off and getting it in the offensive zone on transition, and same on breakout. But at the beginning, he was doing that everywhere, and so Dion was a great stabilizing force for him. And now you could see it's been stabilized, and now it's a pair that we can rely on absolutely.
And are coaches more hesitant to break up deep pairings than you would be forward combos? So it seems like when a forward line is struggling, coaches seem quick to change up. With deep pairings, it doesn't seem to be as...
Well, I'll be honest with you, there's just less guys. There's just less possibilities, and there usually is a clear cutoff point between defensemen. You look at Eric, he's a top-end guy. I thought with him, it's a great pair that's worked together. And then you got Dion, who's a top 4, and Cease that's being groomed as a top 4 guy. And then we had Burrow, who just starting his NHL career. You got Weidman, who's just starting his NHL career. Where are they? So to start mixing all that up at the beginning, when you got a clear top 4, that's not what you want to do at the beginning. Later on, for different reasons, different matchups, injuries and all that, then you're better off playing with that. So it's easier because you got 6 guys that really, with the forwards you got 12 guys. And very often you're surprised. The worst I've found over the years is, over the summer, okay, this guy and that guy, there are 3 top 6 guys, and and then you realize they just don't fit together at all. And then you start changing the puzzle, and then 2 guys you never thought would fit together, and they do great. Like, I don't think anybody here, including myself, thought Zingle would play with Turris this year. I mean, but the only way to find that out is to try it. And that's what I love, especially at the beginning of the year, is I'm open to anything. And there's games where a guy's sleeping, next. And then you realize, hey, you know what, this guy's playing great with that guy. And then all of a sudden you create more depth with your lineup with the same players. You're just reshuffling things around, and then you end up with a lineup that's just more complete and more versatility, more options for different games. And then you're able to know, okay, well, this team's got a great offensive line with speed. Well, then I can use these 2 guys together because I've used it before against so-and-so. So to stick to the same things all the time when there's just nothing happening, that's not my life story. You can ask my wife about that.